Okay, what's up, YouTube? DJ iTubz here, back with another one. Today we're reacting to Boogie2988 Deserves His Failure by none other than Sunny V2.
Boogie recently announcing that he's basically broke shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, as if you follow all of his incredibly poor choices made over the last 4 and a bit years, you'll understand that bankruptcy was almost unavoidable. So let's begin by looking at October 2018, in which Boogie's main source of income, his YouTube channel, slowly began to die. Up until this point, Boogie had established a reputation as an overweight yet friendly nerdy gamer, who people considered charming since he was totally fine with each of his flaws. When he wasn't playing his fat Francis character, Boogie was telling wholesome stories about his personal life, with one of the more notable ones being a video titled What It's Like to Be Broke. In this video, Boogie explained that he had grown up in a fairly poor environment.
So they had decent income, it's just they didn't like to spend it on us kids, at least on me.
And that as a result of that, he was now much wiser with his income.
Now, you know what I do with my money? Every single dime, every single penny goes into the bank, because I don't ever want to live that way again.
Which felt both inspiring and relatable, especially since Boogie highlighted that he now only spent money on things that would improve his videos.
I used every dime to buy better computer equipment, to get better, and after just a year and a half, I was able to go off because I started earning my YouTube income.
This desire to improve the content unsurprisingly resulted in better uploads, and by early 2014, Boogie passed 1 million subscribers before uploading a new video simply titled How Much Money Does Boogie2988 Make, which felt like yet another wholesome yet modest upload, which had clearly been made with the goal of helping his audience.
I want to make sure you have the tools in mind so that you fully understand how much income we already have coming in and make an educated decision of whether or not you ever want to participate in that kind of thing.
Boogie went on to politely imply that he was making over $100,000 per year from YouTube, which didn't include third-party income like Patreon.
So let's take, for example, a YouTube channel similar to mine that's bringing in 10 million views per month. If a YouTube channel is bringing in 10 million views per month, divide that by 1,000, you've got 10,000, multiply that by $1, and you'll have a really good idea of how much ad revenue that channel's bringing in.
And that if you counted his YouTube channel as an asset, he himself was worth more than $1 million.
Boogie, are you a millionaire? Well, it depends on how you calculate millionaire. If you include my YouTube channel as it is, yes. After 3 more years, I'll have earned by then $1 million total in YouTube ad revenue.
This was followed by Boogie reassuring his audience that all of the money was being used wisely.
The majority of the money we make goes into the bank. We do not live very large by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, obviously, I'm large, but we do not spend a grotesque amount of money.
Which led to more positive comments such as, wild guess, but he's very rich now. He deserves it.
You fuck
He's
with
one of
his
the
beard?
only YouTubers that didn't let
I mean, it's
the
a strong
money
beard
get to
still.
his head. He's still just as humble and cool as when he started. I admire that. Amazing video, Boogie. You're one of the realest, most transparent YouTubers out there, and please know that your fans appreciate it. I clicked on this video randomly and I stayed to watch, and to be honest, I'm really happy this guy makes a lot of money. Don't know him, never seen his videos, but I'm just glad that he makes money. He's very humble and I respect that a lot. This positive sentiment toward Boogie resulted in more views, subscribers, and Patreon members, which strengthened his financial position immediately, whilst also giving him the chance to stream on Twitch, opening up another source of income which kept him financially stable during the adpocalypse.
I will be fine. Losing my YouTube ad revenue will hit us pretty hard, but I've diversified our income.
Things were going so well for Boogie that in August of 2017, he paid for weight loss surgery.
I'm home from surgery, that everything went well. The surgery went way better than I had expected. The doctor did it in a very short period
I remember
of time.
these
However,
days.
while this would initially improve Boogie's health dramatically,
I'm 110 pounds down since the pre-op diet, and then I've lost 7.5 inches from my waistline.
it would eventually contribute to him going broke in an unexpected way. Boogie explained in a video that for married people, the weight loss surgery tremendously increases the likelihood that you'll end up getting divorced.
The surgery and the recovery from it is really hard on a marriage. 85% of marriages fail after the surgery within the first 2 years.
He added that in the lead up to the surgery, his marriage was already in a rough spot.
Our marriage was far from perfect. One major issue that was persistent throughout the entire marriage, and that was my anxiety disorder.
And as a result of him now being in a healthier condition, his wife suggested that they should divorce.
She told me that she was thinking about separating now that I was out of the surgery and now that I was nice and healthy. We talked about it and decided that she should take a break. 2 weeks into that, she called up and said that she had made her decision, that she wanted things to be a more permanent change, and that we should start moving in that direction.
Boogie explained that his wife was extremely generous in the divorce, having stated that she wanted far less than 50% of the finances,
And she's like, I want enough to where I know I'm going to be taken care of. And I'm like, okay. So she gave me a number, and I'm like, but that's not half.
More
It
or
wasn't
less?
half of what we were worth.
It was less.
It was less.
However, as a result of the law, Boogie ended up giving her half of what he had anyway.
She's legally entitled to 50% of everything we own. You make sure it's half, so she has no recourse moving forward.
While Boogie's financial position had taken a pretty substantial hit, his audience was still cheering for him with comments such as, "I hope this is the birth of a new Boogie, a healthy Boogie, no baggage, just a happy, healthy, outgoing Boogie." However, after his marriage would officially come to an end, the opposite of this happened.
It's crazy
My
how this is
brain's
a
kind of in
twist.
a
Hold on.
situation where it's just chaos all the time.
It's crazy how like this twist is happening, because the way this story developed from like I used to watch this guy, you know what I mean, when he used to do the Francis stuff and shit too. Like, yo, it's there's such a polarity in the way this story gets framed all the time. So I'm like, I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody who's trying to watch it type shit, like, you know what I mean? But like, yo, I don't know, maybe he flips it on its head.
It's just chaos. This emotional stew in my brain all the time. of
'Cause,
positive
like,
feelings,
you know,
negative feelings,
I don't
numbness,
know.
frustration, and anger. You know,
Not only had the split resulted in a massive blow to Boogie's mental health, but throughout the process, the storytime rambling videos, which were once uplifting, inspirational, and designed to help his viewers, began to feel like they were being made with the goal of receiving sympathy pity from the audience. Additionally, Boogie's positive can-do attitude, where he wanted to invest his savings into making excellent content for the viewers, had transformed into this complete lack of confidence for the future of his channel.
And I'm not smart enough to be able to figure that stuff out. I'll never be good at titles. I'll never be good at thumbnails. I'm not even that good at video creation.
Leading him to develop an attitude of just wanting to get by as opposed to wanting to grow his audience.
As long as my rent is paid, as long as my mortgage is paid, as long as I can keep the lights on, as long as I can support myself and the people that I currently employ, hey, I'm happy with that.
The final video related to his divorce, in which Boogie explained that he now fully owned his house again, happened to have been uploaded
Damn,
in
he lost a
October
lot of weight compared to that
2018,
last
which
time
was the
photo,
very
bro.
same
Holy
month
shit.
where Boogie began to lose subscribers. The decline will be addressed in a video titled State of the Channel 2019, in which he mentioned that the breakup had a significant impact on the channel's viewership.
2018, as we've talked about, was one of the roughest years of my life, and it really showed here on the channel.
Before going on to state that the Storytime Pity Party videos were also impacting the channel negatively.
I know, just complain and whine and just be miserable. Sharing who and what I am has been counterproductive in quite a bit in the last year or so. Mostly when it comes to the mental issues, the anxiety, the depression, stuff like that.
Boogie would conclude the video by stating that he was very excited about the future.
I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm very engaged and excited about what we will be doing here on the channel.
However, only 3 days after this video was uploaded, a now infamous mega thread would be posted to Reddit, which would go on to significantly impact Boogie's reputation. It was titled The Hidden Truth Boogie Doesn't Want You to Know, and it featured over 5,000 words, showcasing that Boogie wasn't exactly the nice guy he tried to portray. The thread brought up topics such as his behavior on stream, various edgy comments he had made over the years, as well as the way he acted in his marriage, with commenters stating,
So here's
"This
the flip
document
side
is
then.
up there with the Constitution and the Magna Carta." However, the thread was posted to a fairly unknown subreddit, and if Boogie had simply ignored the thread, people likely would have forgotten about it, although this isn't what would happen. Boogie instead decided to wage a war against the person who began the mega thread.
I started a war. This guy has been coming at me for 5 years.
Before going on to complain about the criticism in countless different videos.
This subreddit has been actively attacking me and going through everything I've ever said and ever done on the internet for the last 3 years.
Just 2 years prior, in 2017, Boogie was handling criticism much more effectively, even stating that some of the points were valid.
A lot of people have been discussing me over the past couple weeks. I've been on the front page of Reddit, and they tend to discuss me in a very negative light, which is reasonable.
And obviously, Boogie's new 2019 strategy of trying to stop the criticism only led to more criticism.
Of
3 months
course.
after the mega thread was posted, Boogie would upload a new
You
video
can't stop
titled
the
"Taking a
fire, it
Break,
just has
I
to
Give
burn
Up,
out.
You
You know what
Guys
I'm
Win,"
saying?
in which he'd state that he needed a short break as a result of being anxious and nervous.
They're trying to stop it,
With
you end
fewer
up feeding
uploads
it.
and a declining reputation, his monthly subscriber count began to fall off a cliff, losing 5,000, 14,000, 28,000, before losing another 42,000 in
Holy
August
sh-
2019,
And I get
representing a decline
tilted when I lose 1
100,000
subscriber.
subscribers in only 4 months.
Could you
than
imagine
improving
losing
content,
49K?
Boogie ramped up the
Like, what the
complaints and
fuck?
apologies, which not only led to a decrease in views from an average of 10 million per month to 2 million per month, but it also led to comments from his audience such as, "I used to watch every video before. For me, you were like the Mr. Rogers of YouTube. Soft, understanding, and compassionate. Lately, it had just been apologies and complaining. I miss the old content, not because of Francis or gaming or whatever, but because of that person." Despite Boogie's clear decline in his views, subscribers, and income, his spending habits hadn't changed one bit, as midway through this collapse, he'd announced that he was taking on a $100,000 loan to purchase a Tesla.
I ended up buying the X. I still haven't got it fully financed yet. I'm having to finance it, obviously.
Oh my god, I just put myself $100,000 in debt. My car payment's $1,700 a month or something like that. That's more money than I make on Twitch. That's like half of my YouTube rad revenue this month.
Boogie then made a tweet about how expensive the car was, giving him another opportunity to make himself look like an idiot.
I tweeted out that I was not going to be able to afford this car.
Reddit and Twitter lost their minds. Oh, are you trying to manipulate people into giving you money?
The answer is yes. Give me some money. If you guys want to help me pay for my
Said
Tesla,
yes.
please go ahead and dig deep. I sure would like a free Tesla. Reach down in your pockets and give me $100,000 tonight.
Which becomes even worse after he'd mentioned that he still owed a bunch of money on his house,
My house is worth $300,000. I still owe $200,000 in the house.
and that he knew the Tesla was going to decline in value over time.
But that car is just going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as it goes.
In the year that followed, Boogie's Patreon members almost halved, from 120 down to 65, partially as a result of him taking long breaks from creating content.
You'll notice that for the last 3 weeks, I've really not been updated. I have not streamed in 3 weeks.
Which accompanied the transformation of his comment section from a once positive place full of supporters to a wasteland of negativity full of detractors. It's incredible how openly money-oriented this guy is. This guy talks like a minister from some cheesy, scammy late-night ministry where you're supposed to send a $50 check for good luck. Imagine this guy would win the lottery. He'd be broke within 12 months, which would eventually turn out to be somewhat accurate. After his
Damn
back and forth
man's
with
for
Frank
real.
Hassel in early 2021, Boogie
Oh,
had to shell out
no.
a bunch of money for legal fees.
Let me point out just how expensive all of this was. And obviously, I took money out of my bank account and I paid for it out of pocket. This cost tens of thousands of dollars to fight.
Which also resulted in Boogie producing less content.
I was advised by everyone to live stream less, to make less YouTube videos, to say less things that could be taken out of context and used against me before we had a result, because you know from Reddit and 4chan that that's what they like to do to me. But that cost me a small fortune and lost wages and lost ad revenue as well.
Yeah, why don't you just
thankfully,
game?
according to a video titled "I Am Finally Rich: How Crypto Made Me Rich," Boogie apparently had no financial problems whatsoever. In the video, he explained that back in 2019, Boogie had taken a massive gamble by purchasing a bunch of cryptocurrency, and by early 2021, he had quadrupled his money.
I basically took every dime I had in liquid funds and invested it in a huge gamble. I invested pretty much everything I had into cryptocurrency. I invested all the way back here, and yeah, that's where we currently are with that market. So to say that I doubled my money is an understatement. In fact,
I mean, it's only
did more than
40K
that.
though.
Boogie then tried to pathetically coax his audience into trying to give him more money.
Never feel pressured to get one of those memberships down below. Never feel pressured to subscribe on Twitch. Never feel pressured to make a donation or interact with one of my sponsors. Never feel pressured to buy a t-shirt.
Do I think he
Going on the
deserves all of
statement,
this?
taking the money out
I'll
of
hold
crypto
that thought
to
till
put
the
it
end,
into a
honestly,
safer
and I'll see
investment.
you
And that's
something.
if I don't take the money and invest it in something that will make me money, which I am most certainly going to do.
However,
'Cause
as
I'm still
highlighted by
learning
almost every
new stuff
comment,
about him
the
right
video
now.
aged incredibly poorly, because only a year after posting it, Boogie uploaded a new video titled "I Need Your Help," in which he explained that he had lost almost all of his money to the crypto market and now required donations from the audience.
Well, this is a video I've dreaded making. You know, I spent a tremendous amount of money on dumb things. But the biggest issue is that I had a nice big nest egg, but I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything.
This is the most interesting case study, watching someone who hasn't had to work in over a decade finally have to go back to work. I remember him saying, "Don't worry about me. I'm financially secure to the point that if I stop making videos tomorrow, I can live comfortably for the rest of my life." Just remember that the reason this video was filmed in his garden is because if it was filmed in his office, we'd all be able to see his thousands of dollars
Those
worth
with
of arcade
arcade
machines,
machines,
magic cards, and
a
gaming
lot.
memorabilia.
Like, he
While
could
it's
just
almost
sell.
impossible to find a single positive comment on the entire video, Boogie would receive $1,109 in donations. However, this small figure was certainly at the expense of his dignity and reputation. Boogie hasn't seen a single month of positive subscriber growth since May of 2019,
Holy
almost 4 years
sheesh.
ago, and with no clear desire to change any of his daily habits, it's unlikely that his YouTube channel or financial situation will see any kind of recovery anytime soon.
Hey, yo. Do I think he deserves all of that? To put it simply,
Famous?
I don't think anyone deserves to, like, well, that's not true. Let me clarify my thought here. Do I think this guy personally deserves the shit that he's gone through? I don't know him enough to, like, really judge him like that crazy. From the shit I've, seen him do and participate in, and how he acts at times, the reaction is because of him. Yeah, I mean, like, how everything happens to him. There's divorce and stuff like that. Apparently there was abuse going on. There's a bunch of marital problems in there anyway, so, like, yo, it's back and forth. Yeah, I mean, the abuse, verbal abuse apparently, and stuff like that. All types of stuff from what I've watched in videos that he's even said. You know what I'm saying? The other stuff that he does, buying a bunch of stuff for no reason, like when he doesn't have the money and stuff like that to do anything about it, and all types of, which is pretty crazy. You know what I mean? He's not even, like, trying to really work towards even getting it even more. He's asking for donations. Like, all of these things that he's talking about, like the crypto going crazy, him not cashing out at least and putting some of that money into actual, like, a high yield stock or something like that. You know what I mean? Where he could live off of that for real, and it wouldn't be as volatile as Bitcoin was at the time, especially. Like, yeah, make all that bread, but you were also in a bull market instead of a bear market. You know what I mean? Where things were running up and everything like that. You could have made a pretty penny off of that, especially due to the fact that, like, COVID was going on. So, like, every action has a reaction, right? And the causation was that, like, yo, him and his actions caused all that shit to happen. He didn't plan ahead. He wasn't being prepared. He was being stupid. Like, yo, so does he deserve the things that he got for his actions? For everything personal that he did, that caused him personal harm on himself? Yeah, you could say yes, because he did it to himself, right? Anything that somebody else did to him or something like that, all those Reddit mega threads and whatever, like, I could say that's probably unnecessary. Nobody needs to go through that or whatever, right? But, like, obviously he didn't need to respond to it. He didn't need to do anything about it, but he did. So there it was, right? And then he only opened himself up more and showed his ass even more. So that's what it is to me. That's how I feel, you know? I only ever knew he fell off because he was saying dumb shit all over Twitter for the past few years. Yeah, like, that's all his shit. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Misa? But, like, that's all he does. Like, everything that he's done to himself, it's on him, right? Like, who else is there to blame? So, like, yeah, he deserves that stuff. Like, anything else, like, it's not up for me to say. You know what I mean? At that point, like that. Just saying. In my opinion, everything was wrong when he got divorced. I'm not blaming his ex-wife, but that's where it all went critical. But, like, bro, like, see, there's stuff that's done to him in his past when he's been abused as a child and stuff like that. So obviously that's not his fault, right? So he already has, like, trauma and stuff like that. But then so it's kind of disingenuous to say that his divorce was the critical point, because he's been dealing with multiple critical points in his life constantly, right? And, like, his personality only leaked out more after that divorce happened. And then after he lost a lot of weight or whatever and stuff like that, he may have changed, or his personality just got stronger, right? So it's just like, it's disingenuous to even bring up his ex-wife unless his ex-wife really did some wild shit to him to make him completely change his entire life, or, you know what I mean? Like, people can be abused in relationships, and then when they come out of a relationship, they're completely different than what they were before. Yeah, I mean, some people are scared, some people are overly aggressive, some people end up taking on the same traits of the person who abused them and they abuse other people. Like, there's multiple things, right? So we can't really say and pinpoint whatever that is, but those things are like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know from what his ex-wife was saying, what multiple people were saying on accounts of Boogie, and then him acting the way he is. There's a lot of similarities, if not dead on, like, here's one-to-one comparisons, you understand? So with that being said, like, homie's in it. Homie did it to himself in that way, where it's just like his personality is very strong, and what he says and does only gets him the reaction of like the consequences. Like, he only reaps the consequences that he sows, type shit, right? So that's that on that. But like anything else he doesn't deserve, like he doesn't deserve to be abused when he was young or whatever and stuff like that. But like, he deserves like like being in the shitter for not being financially responsible, being looked at as a fucking loser for like the things he says online. Like, like, I'm trying to tread the line here and not say something too crazy, because I'm not trying to be like a bully or something like that on this one. But like, you know, that's all I'm gonna say about that, because homie's on some shit. If you're on YouTube watching this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.